Hello. To the video. Yes, that was not edited there. I did actually do a spin, coordinated, and I'm not even dizzy. And you know why? Because it's all under control. And speaking of things being under control, by creating these videos consistently and documenting the BS, what's going on, can be helpful down the line in some way or another. So today, what I want to talk about and acknowledge is the recent BS ongoing, okay, within the Dylan Rounds case and certain videos. A key pattern being shown, okay. I'm going to present to you once again the false copyright claim, which being manipulated in some way or another. But aside from that, I also want to talk about the Dylan Rounds case. So don't worry, make sure to stick around. We are going to be talking about that, probably first of all. And that's by looking back at the comment section of the last Dylan Rounds video I did and seeing what, the ideas have been, people's thoughts and mindsets at this moment in time, answer any questions if necessary, acknowledge any key interesting information, etc. Okay? And, for the people that are present right now, welcome. Hi there. Feel free to share your thoughts, opinions, reactions in the live chat on the right-hand side of the screen. I can briefly comment on last night's video as well, because there was another issue on top of everything, and I need to explain in addition to why one of the edited videos that I was going to upload today didn't happen. So there's a range of stuff to get through. And also, on top of all of that, make sure to stick around. You want something a little bit more light-hearted or somewhat interesting of a different country. If you like map analysis, well, this video will cover that later on, because we're taking a look at Peru, the NASCAR lines, in relation to last night's video. So Christy, if you are watching right now, I will be doing that map analysis, the one what you wanted and others wanted later in this video. Make sure to stick around. But first of all, just need to highlight the points and key issues within this ongoing stuff, like in the Dylan Rounds case, maybe in general too. So if there's anyone experiencing similar issues, leave your experiences down below. Maybe quite a few people that are present over time tend to watch rather than create. But if there's any content creators, big, small, medium, let me know your thoughts in the comment section, okay? Because this is the thing, and I have tried it in the past, when I've done videos, awareness ones, spreading awareness of an issue, an ongoing thing, more so to let other people know who might be out there, who are also on YouTube making videos, the reach never seems to target those people, which is unfortunate, right? It reaches general public, which I guess is good in itself, in case they ever make videos in the future. But, I've seen it elsewhere, where other creators, maybe it's the more popular, they've done a video addressing an issue or what they're going through. Then you go into the comment section, and then there's other big creators or smaller mid-range ones who are also communicating. I guess you call it networking. So maybe the other way is you do a reply or a response, you tag someone in a video, but that doesn't always seem to grab the right people's attention. And, whose attention are you focusing on? If it's targeting a range of YouTubers or any YouTuber, then just tagging a few people won't work. You'd have to tag millions, and obviously that's not practical. So some of the videos are hit and miss. Some people are informed, other people aren't. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. One thing I do want to highlight, aside from everything, is Badger last night for their super chat. Very good of her, much appreciated. The badges all over. Do the badges need an upgrade with the emoji? I don't know. But yeah, that's the other thing. When I was in a video a few days or whatever now, and I was talking about how we've got this emoji to acknowledge that person. I probably didn't mention every single one as examples, because we had the rose, the custom rose emoji to acknowledge Shih Tzu and maybe somebody else, but it was mainly for Shih Tzu, I believe. And then the badger one, the badger Rat King type one, which gold and black, perfect, to acknowledge her. Because we've been on a bit of rat patrol in the past, right? Not had to use it since. Maybe not, maybe not in the chat because it's happening in bloody real life with the shack outside. But as an update there regarding the shack outside, no more mice at this moment in time because I wouldn't be able to do much because the ceiling thing has been taken away. So they can't really use it to, you know, rest or create a nest. So they'll probably move on. So yeah, I'll try and do a live stream when I can. When I do live streams, it tends to be more on the spot, right? I don't plan them, and I find that better. If I planned it, I don't know. Maybe I'd have to do it at an appropriate time, and I'd have to get into my mindset that it's like I'm just creating a video like normal, right? But it's actually live. Much different to if you do a pre-recording video and you got all the time in the world to think things through, to make mistakes, to edit them, etc. In a live stream, it's just all on the go, and I don't know, it's a little bit different now. And when I think of, oh, let's make a video late at night, I don't always think like that. I don't always think, no, you shouldn't really have to be doing it late at night. But if it's just on the spot randomly or something, or it's like a response or a follow-on debrief, then on the spot, it just seems to work better. So I don't know, it's just weird doing videos late at night at times, right? Because most of the videos are done daytime and then presented in a live premiere later on at night where most people will sit back. But, you know, in contrast to that, because of time zone difference, people from other countries, mainly US, it'll be earlier for them. So when I'm settling down, they're waking up. So it is a bit dodgy at times, but not as dodgy as Australia. Yeah, you know, I don't know, it's a bit all over the place when it comes to the timing there. But that aside, you know, this is just like loose talk, casual conversations. Share your thoughts and opinions regarding the Dylan Rounds case, of course, in the chat. If your mindset has changed since, if you've introduced any new theories, as people mishear when I say it, fairies. Yeah, fairies fluttering around, yeah. But just one other thing to acknowledge when it comes to Indiana's recent comments, right? More so about the trailer and truck. Indiana, if you are present, we can take a look back at that. I'll look at it from a different perspective. I'll look back at the photos regarding the damage, okay, and just give you my own thoughts on that and see if it can generate new discussions, right? Because just maybe in certain areas, some material, things have been missed over time, or just simply I haven't acknowledged certain things because I was seeing it from a different perspective. So try and come full circle, okay? When will that video be coming? I mean, as soon as possible, right? Maybe tomorrow or the day after. It just depends what other issues I encounter, okay? So, yeah, just be on the lookout for that. Making this video now to acknowledge the comments from last Dylan Rounds video I did to see where we're at there. To keep it, you know, the theme of this video is still about Dylan Rounds, of course, to keep the case still alive, to enable people to chat and talk about the case and anything else in between. But I do also want to address the important issues what have gone on recently. So for everyone watching right now and those that have just suddenly joined, where do I begin? Well, first of all, regarding last night's video, statistically speaking, not great, but in terms of the people that were present, they were great, okay? There's about 13 to maybe 15 people watching, and there was about 13, 14 likes. So it kind of demonstrated, or at least highlighted to me, that just about everybody that was watching also liked the video, which is a big positive. It shows that the majority do like what they're watching at that moment in time. So that's good to see. But it also shows that people are in tune, that people are, you know, like real people. Does that make sense? Because they were also engaging in the chat. There wasn't any trouble. There wasn't any mess. It was casual talking. It was positive. It was natural. It was pretty perfect. Okay. Do I like, in my opinion, do I like live premieres or live streams where there's less people present, but the chat is more healthy? I would say here and there, yes. On a consistent day-to-day basis, probably not, because it's not quite practical there. Does that make sense? But because of the video theme, what it was about, it matched the energy of the chat, so that was all good last night. So that was fine. And it was still focus. That's the thing. You can have focus and you can still have fun. It's always possible. And it is being demonstrated on my channel here and now. So I'd say arguably in the past, right, where you had those waves of disruption and some people were actually getting agitated by it in the chat, that's not actually happened for quite some time now. And why is that? People have moved on, case not as important anymore, etc. But I will also highlight that there's also that possibility that more so in recent time that people could come back, right? And those in the background, but you know, it is what it is. You can't stop people from watching regardless of what you do, right? There'll be other channels out there that will be blocking everyone left, right, center, but what does that actually do? Not much. Okay, you can't see the comments, but they can still watch the video. No way about it, right? I think even if you were terminated on YouTube, right, your account terminated, you could still watch the videos, but you just couldn't comment. So there's just no way of stopping people. It is what it is. So just to highlight that there. But as for last night, it was fine. It was good. What about the last few Dylan Rounds videos? I mean, the chat there has been fairly good as well. We've seen some, I guess, familiar faces, familiar characters. I think recently 28 Alice, the former Salty Pancakes hardline supporter, showed up in chat, talking about the case, I believe, and also Kathy Waters, you know, Kathy caps on Waters, Kathy Deep Waters. Change of tone. I mean, originally it was in capital letters, now it's in lowercase, so I guess things are a bit more calmer now. But I think we could probably tie it in with some of the issues probably later on in this video regarding certain key named individuals, because I've noticed something interesting. But just to refer back in general to last night, the video last night was okay. The chat was okay. The engagement was okay. Statistically, not great, but that doesn't matter on that occasion. But what was the issue then? And it probably does tie in to an extent with less people watching. A couple of people the next day told me that they didn't get notifications that video was being released at that time or going live at that time. People weren't informed about it. People didn't receive the notification, so they didn't know about it until the next day. Now, that's unfortunate. I don't know how many people have been impacted by that. If anyone is watching right here, right now, just let me know. Have you received notifications or not? And have you had any issues like this in the past, right? What are notifications and how do you receive them? I'll just briefly explain that to you just in case you're wondering. So notifications are kind of like what you get on your phone. It's like a reminder that an event is happening, something is about to begin, right? Such as a video. You get pinged, notification, visual noise, whatever you have it set as, and then you're reminded, and then you can go on and watch the video, participate, right? How do you receive notifications in the first place? Well, if you're talking about channel notifications, videos on a channel you watch, you have to be subscribed to the channel, okay? So for the people that do receive notifications and those that have but recently suddenly stopped receiving notifications, those people are subscribed to my channel. So I never normally say this because there's no need to. You only do it if you want to. So on the basis of that, if you want to receive notifications on a consistent basis for most part of it, feel free to subscribe to the channel, and it should be easier to keep track of all the videos, okay? So you don't get confused or lost within it all, okay? So regarding the people that have had issues, who are subscribed, who haven't received notifications most recently, there was like an article somewhere where it said that it depends what notification setting you have it set to on that channel. Is it personalized or is it classified as all? It says that you're better off setting notifications from a channel to receive all notifications. If it's personalized, it might, pick and choose what you may be informed about and what's ignored. So you might miss out on some key things like videos. So I think it was advised that it's best to have notifications turned on to all regarding a channel. Okay. It also said that you need to recheck your notifications if you may have unsubscribed and then resubscribed afterwards. Okay, because it might have reset things. So no harm checking that. Why would some people unsubscribe? Well, for numerous reasons. Some may not even be aware. That was another issue in the past, okay? So it happens all over the place with all different channels that people are suddenly unsubscribed, that they've not watched your channel, they've not watched my videos for over a year. Then they suddenly leave a comment saying, oh, I didn't think you were still making videos. And I just realised I'm not subscribed to you, so I've resubscribed. That's happened. That's YouTube's fault. YouTube forcibly unsubscribing people from channels and maybe even turning notifications off as well in the process because of unsubscribing. So that's why people are lacking behind out there. I don't know how many times it's happened on my channel, but it has happened at least once or twice. Okay, so it's always no harm in checking back. I mean, arguably speaking, the people in the past that might have, come in 4 to 6 months later and then left a comment saying, oh, I didn't know you still make videos, or, oh, I've just found your video now. And it's like, well, whether you subscribed or not, surely you would have seen that I'm on a consistent upload schedule basis. So whether you're subscribed or not, you should, be aware that I am active. So what that would highlight for some people out there in the past that were subscribed but then suddenly unsubscribed without knowing, but clearly they probably didn't really bother watching regularly to understand the patterns of upload schedules. So not quite my problem there. But, in general, YouTube for other people, it just gets messy, right? Visually speaking and also auditory. Like with the notifications, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, sometimes it pings, other times it will just not do anything. So it's a little bit hit and miss, and you might see that pattern emerging across all different areas within YouTube, but just got to keep on going and put up with it, because really YouTube is really the only main platform out there. And I know some people could say, well, create a new account or go on a different platform, but if it takes quite some time to build a channel in the first place, because it does differ from person to person, right? If it takes quite some time and effort just to get to here and to replicate it again from scratch elsewhere, is it worthwhile? Probably not. Probably not practical. So yeah, that's the notification issue explained. Hopefully that makes it clearer to people. Make sure just to check back to see if the notifications are turned on and set to all. And if there's any people out there that want notifications to be informed with videos or posts, comments, whatever, feel free to subscribe to the channel to enable that. Now, that aside, the next 2 issues that need to be mentioned, and I'm going to go in detail later with one of them, and then the other one I'll just explain on the spot. Okay, so make sure to stick around. So I was going to be uploading a short cold edit video, more of a aesthetic one, visual with some music and special effects, right? I might have done it in the past, never done it properly, never really knew how to or had the, material, the editing capacity to do that. But I guess with the usage of TikTok, even though it's, criticized, some of the editing features are quite useful. So I was able to make a nice, good visual short, and I was going to upload it. I think, yeah, it was going to be in the morning of today, so earlier on. But when I uploaded it, guess what happened? Did it receive a copyright claim for music used, which never existed? No. Oh. So what was the issue then, Raf? Well, this time round, my video was limited. Yeah, back to that again, right? So I saw it and I thought, oh, here we go again. But I didn't dispute it. You might be wondering, why is that? Because I didn't want to dig myself further into a hole, even though it's all messy to begin with, and it's not quite my fault. But this time round, I just thought, you know what? Let's look back at the video. Now, to some people, they probably could hear it. To others, they may not. But to YouTube and the system, I don't know, maybe it's extra sensitive. The music that was used in that short video, it mentioned the N word once. Typical type music like that, right? It's not a big issue. It's not the end of the world. I'm not even saying it. It's just the music itself. So I guess YouTube auto-detected it and saw it as a bad word. And if they disputed it, I can imagine when they review it, they'd probably say a bad word was used. You've rated or you've disputed the video incorrectly. Shame on you. And then what happens to me? I'm put back to square one as I was a month ago, which lasted for many months. I'm not going to risk going back to that point because it drags out, right? Basically, I'm not going to dispute limited videos where I may feel a little hesitant, okay? Because I don't want the self-certification score to go low again. Because if it does, it's going to remain like that for quite some time. I don't want to go through that again, okay? So I thought to play it safe, I'll upload that short edit without any volume, no audio, nothing, mute. Uploaded it, green tick, it was approved, there was no issue. No restrictions, no limitation, nothing. So I thought, oh, it's probably in the music, right? So I think, and I've not checked it since, or maybe I did check it, can't remember. I think I uploaded it again with different music, which didn't say any bad words of that type. And I think that was approved as well. So I guess it was just the music choice at the end of the day. But you know what? To be honest, if YouTube want to be so consistent and strict with their policies and guidelines, then why did they have that music available in the library section if it's, offensive or breaks guidelines? Why advertise the music when you get done for using it in the first place? You get what I'm saying? Now, it wasn't guaranteed as to, why it broke guidelines, the video, but I'm assuming it's the music because the video was okay without music, but with certain music, it didn't like it. So that's what the conclusion I came to, right? On TikTok, there was no issues there. So this is what I mean. Even when TikTok can be controlling at times and very corrupt and just dodgy, then other times they're perfectly okay. But then YouTube is strict. It really is hit and miss with both platforms. Some things work for TikTok, other things don't. But the things that don't work for YouTube and vice versa. It is a bit of a guessing game, which, it's unfortunate. So as for that edit video, depending how my current video does, because I uploaded an alternative short earlier on, see how that goes, and I may possibly upload that original cold edit at 0000 early hours of tomorrow morning, which will be, I guess, nighttime for you of the current day right now because of the time zone difference. But it will be available there if you wish to check it out. And if it does well, I'll probably do more in the future. This is the thing. Out of all of my videos on YouTube, and I've uploaded over 1,000 plus whatever, okay, quite a few. All of my most successful videos have not really been edited too much. They've been trimmed down, they've had some overlays, nothing too advanced, okay? The ones which took me 12 hours plus to make, you know what I'm saying, and more, they never really, took off. They never really did well. They never really got many views. And they always say that you put more hard work in, hard work equals success. But clearly, not for me. That if I dial it back a bit, right, keep it a bit more simplistic, that seems to work and it's been demonstrated, right? And I've kind of followed through ever since. At times, it might be a good idea to put more editing in, put more effort in when it comes to editing. But then it runs that risk of it could be all for nothing. It could be a complete waste of time. You could do the same exact thing in 5 minutes instead of 12 hours of editing. You get your message across, you get whoever that comes and watches, listens, and then boom, done. Maybe visual edits are more for the YouTube short section. We just see. This is the thing. And although it's kind of on the spot, just to highlight to you, anybody watching, anybody that does create videos or thinking of doing that, shorts or standard videos, depending what your target audience is, that can determine what type of editing, and effort you put into them. If you're targeting teenagers of that age, older, younger, in between, obviously your videos will have to be appropriate, first of all, blah, 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 guidelines. But in terms of the visual editing aspect, when you're targeting a younger audience, it's got to be fancy, it's got to be flashy, colourful, fast, rapid, camera angle changes, subtitles, text on the screen, transitions, zoom ins, zoom outs, camera cuts from here to there to over there, all kinds of stuff going on. It keeps the brain engaged because levels of degeneracy is at an all-time high because of TikTok with the low attention retention rates, which has then impacted the general public of the younger generations, which, well, older people as well too. And then going on to YouTube, it's kind of infected it like a plague, right? So you got to put more effort in visually editing to target a certain audience. If you're targeting more adults and older past that point, as long as the message is clear and what you're talking about is relevant, that's all that really matters. And as long as you're able to keep people somewhat focused, then that's obviously a positive. Now, in my case, I'll be honest, once I was talking to a family dog in the family and the dog fell asleep. So that doesn't say too much good. It's not too much good, that. But this is the thing, just remember one thing. One thing, what is that one thing? Well, I guess it would be useful if it was on the side, but that's the thing. To maintain control and focus, other methods are used. Exactly. So, with alternative ways comes, the right outcome. What? That's a bit sour, that drink. Why does that remind me of that dodgy Italian piss-like water that time? What I drank. You remember that bottle? Not good. Not good. I think Bella V said it was her liquid. I don't know what's going on there. But where are we at right now? Well, welcome to anyone that is currently watching. Take in mind this is a live premiere, so I'm also trying to acknowledge people that are watching live afterwards, as well as keeping this video somewhat structured. Obviously, the longer this video, the more time you have to chat. So there is a positive there. The more time you have to talk about the Dylan Rounds case, right? So, yeah, it just depends the audience you target, and then that determines like the level of effort and the visual backgrounds behind it all. So yeah, that's just like ongoing, and we'll see how that short video does perform upcoming. If it gets the same amount of views as usual, then it's like, well, I don't really need to go to that great length effort. If it gets double or triple the amount of views, then it'll be like, okay then, maybe I need to take that more seriously. I mean, music in itself, you don't have to change the visual part. The auditory part can really complement a video. Standard videos are more demanding. If a video is of a certain length, then you've got to find music of that same length. And it's not always that easy because quite a lot of the music pieces are online, copyright free we're talking about. Could be about 1 minute to 2 minutes long, 4 minutes long, maybe 5 minutes. You don't get like 10, 20, 30-minute pieces, right? So then either you've got to bunch it up with different pieces of audio, music pieces, so it's a bit all over the place, and then you've got to try and find it so it complements one another with a certain theme, origins. That takes time as well, and then try and get merging from so when you hear this music in the background, it fades into the next one. That requires more effort there. And then, more music pieces, different pieces of music from different people out there, increases the risk of copyright claims. So that's a problem as well. Now, this is the thing. When it comes to, channels out there which are copyright-free music, sometimes they'll say, credit us in the description. And also websites online, credit us, give a link. But then other times, like on Pexel, that's what it's called, P-E-X-A-L, where it says, give contribution, shout out with the link provided of this creator if you wish to, if you want to. It's not saying that you have to, it's if you want to. You've got the choice. And that applies on YouTube as well. You're not always forced to, unless it says so. Okay? And the people that I've been around, or the material that I may have used, portions of it and edited it myself, it said copyright free, no attribution required, or not forced, so it was fine. And as for that music composer who I was in contact with in the past, who's a subscriber on my channel, okay, Co-AG Music, over 72,000 subscribers on their channel. That their music pieces have been used in top 5, top 10s, those channels out there, big established ones. So, a big deal. At Co-AG Music, for the most part of it, copyright-free music, unless they say it's not, but they will make it clear to understand there. So, yeah, there's been an agreement there, for formal or informal, all fine, all good, no issues there. Co-AG has never had issues with me using their music. I've acknowledged them in the past. And yeah, not forced to, but I chose to acknowledge them in crediting them here and there. Other times I may have forgotten, but you know, you understand the pattern, right? So there shouldn't be any issues there unless you're required to provide a link. And if you don't provide one and you get issues, I can understand why you'd be in that situation. But I've not been in that situation, okay? And just to summarize everything, when it comes to my experience, maybe it doesn't apply so much to what's happening now, but it's happened in general other times. That at the end of the day, from the looks of it, whether you use copyright-free music or no music at all, and it's just simple music within a video game, which is copyright-free and no issues there, any video you upload with any form of music, somewhere, somehow, somewhere, there's a chance that it'll be receiving a copyright claim, and a false one, from a third-party group out there claiming it's their own music when clearly it's not. But the way they get around it is more so by saying that their music, their creation, was used in my video when it never has been. Because every single copyright claim of music I have received 99% of the time from my memory, and also in recent time, the music that was claimed with the title Pizza and Drugs, for example, supposedly used in my video? No, not at all. When some other group, was it StarCraft, Fire and Fury, I can't remember, or something, claimed my mobile game gameplay one. No countdown, no additional stock footage, no copyright music downloaded or used from online, none of that. It was simple gameplay with background sounds in. And those background sounds were claimed as copyright, even though it didn't match the music that was copyright claimed. So it's all completely false. False reports all over the place, more now than ever seen before. And it's trying to understand, why is it to that extent? Why is it so bad, right? Besides the notification issues people have been witnessing, besides my videos being limited randomly here and there, which is an issue in itself, this recent issue with the copyright false ID music claims is a current one, and in high numbers, because in addition to what I was saying, when I woke up this morning, I received another copyright claim on one of my previous Dylan Rounds videos. That's, what is it now, 7, 8 copyright claims within the last 3 days. Someone or something is very desperate and is out to get me, right? And whether other people have been attacked here, there, everywhere, whatever, wherever, I'm just simply documenting what's happening right now. So the other people can whinge and whine, I'm just simply documenting. So you know what's up, so you can see what's going on, and then you can experience and witness my reality. Because arguably speaking, accumulatively speaking, over the course of time, through the years I've been on YouTube, more so since 2020 onwards, the way I've been treated, the way I've been attacked, the way I've been, you know, things have been manipulated in the background, things have been twisted and turned, and all kinds of messy stuff and technological issues, and YouTube themselves, and then just viewers at times, the odd ones, and then some grudges and some obsessions, you know, the whole lot, and including up to now with the Dylan Rounds case. Arguably speaking, I am one of the most attacked and screwed over individuals on YouTube. The question is, do people out there see me as a threat? So that's why they're trying to silence me in some way or another? If that was the case, I think it's a bit too far-fetched. I wouldn't say I'm a threat. I'm just simply covering a case, whichever one it might be. In addition, one thing I do want to highlight, just to reiterate it, so people are aware, for the people watching right now and those in the background, such as the Dylan Rounds case, yes, I keep the case alive. I cover it. I share different thoughts and opinions. I share my own opinions at times. I analyse stuff and make sense of the current information going around. I debunk the odd few things. I compare and contrast. There's a lot that goes on. Different types of material shifts at times. Am I the one to find Dylan Rounds? Probably not, but you never know. Anything is possible. I think that's the key line, what people are missing and failing to understand. I might not be the direct person to find Dylan Rounds, but I could play a part in it in some way or another through my map analysis, my eyes, picking out a certain spot, a location, looking back at a missed opportunity, etc. And people could say, how do you know, or why would you think that way? Well, just remember, I've covered the Kenny Veach case, right? Because of me being on YouTube, I was the one that was able to drive more attention and more eyes towards key evidence to suggest Kenny Veach is alive, CCTV footage, right? I was the one, because of my presence on YouTube, that a key family member reached out because of my consistency and impact on the case. But they shared with me key evidence to support the idea that Kenny Veach is still alive in 2022 with a phone call made. If I wasn't on YouTube, that stuff wouldn't be distributed, nor would it be revealed to the general public, okay? So I've demonstrated it in the past. Someone from a completely different country who may sit on a bed at times, more so not now because it's half broke. That's Betty Hayward for you when they did that slap. But what I'm saying is, you can be as far away as possible in distance and yet still be the one successful in getting a result somewhere. And maybe that's where the evolutionary jealousy and competitive kicks in, how there's other humans out there, whichever case, who may be from that country and yet they're doing a worse job than I am. So they don't like that idea. So they'll try and silence and discredit others. And now it's my turn to face the fire, okay? That's one way of looking about it, okay? So who knows what happens in the Dylan Rounds case? You know, somehow, somewhere, what if, and I'm saying what if, Dylan Rounds was found in an area I pointed at in the past on the maps. Just imagine if I said, hey, you know, somewhere like there, maybe that needs checking. And then too little, too late, it is. And then found, and then it's technically, well, I was the creator catalyst of that. So you get the idea there. It's about keeping the case alive, most importantly, and then enabling other people to talk about it and share their thoughts, like right now. But also, there's a small chance every now and then, whether it be bringing in the right people, right place, right time, or the right resources or material, it could further and strengthen, you know, the coverage in some way, because I've demonstrated it in the past already. It can happen again. Just see what happens, okay? So yeah, in terms of the copyright claim, what I was talking about, I'll show you a screenshot of that later on in the video, of the video title that was claimed and who it was by. And yeah. So that was the intro of this video. 39-minute intro. Yeah, not too bad. Could be a bit longer though. Anyway, what we are going to jump into now will be the comments from the last Dylan Rounds video I did, just to see what people have got to say. Allow people to join on in. If you want to add to your thoughts, add to your comments, feel free to do so. Just see if there's any questions, if there's key information. And then once that's done, then I can, I guess, show you the copyright stuff, okay? So I'm just going to adjust the comments to the latest. I want to start from the bottom. Got a handful to get through, but, you know, that's good. That's good. It shows that there's engagement. We got Tom, first of all, saying, here we go. Everybody have fun. Well, as I highlighted in a joking way, might be hard for some people out there. Tom saying, am I on your target list? No. And Tom saying, damn. So it sounds like Tom's disappointed that he's not on my target hit list. Oh. No, there's no dartboards. There's no darts being thrown about. No. We got Angelina saying, smile, you are loved just for being you. Shout out to Angela with that comment. It's good of her to say. Response-wise, Angelina says, sorry, wish I could donate to your channel. It's okay. Click off there. We got Cleo as well. Thank you. You're welcome with the new emoji. Hopefully it shows up on screen. Arguably speaking, it's probably one of the clearest ones. Sometimes it's hard to fit it in, hard to make it distinguishable from, what it actually is. You think of the pixels, it's not exactly big, is it? Because, YouTube has limitations with your sizes of emojis and badges. But it does come up quite well, the contrast and the colouring of it. That's why I added colour to the background to bring what's in front to light, technically speaking. We got Badger Life saying, yup, it's Irma. So I think what Badger Life is referring to here is that the issues that my channel has faced, Badger Life is suggesting that Salty Pancakes is the reason for the false copyright claims. Who knows? I think that was suggested and hinted maybe by 28 Alice, and if not her, more so Kathy Waters, who was a former hardline supporter of Salty Pancakes. So you've seen the cracks, Shem, the finger pointing. Maybe it's a matter of time until true identity is revealed. Who knows? But I think to summarise it, regardless of who it is, they have an obsession with me, and that's basically it. It could be jealousy because some out there just don't have a channel anymore, but that could possibly be by their own doing, their own incompetence, or lack of control and lack of appropriate wording, and that's why they're in the mess they are in. That's not, that's why some people don't have it under control. That's why it leads to that. So times like this, is it still kind of under control for me? Yeah, because the videos are still there, but it just feels a bit restrictive, right? Is it like a process of trying to erase the past? Well, that's what it seems like, right? Because most of these copyrighted claimed videos at false ID claims are of my past videos on the Dylan Rounds case, not my latest videos. And that's because my latest videos don't use any music at all, right? Is that the way to go? Probably. It's the safest route. But honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if there is a music claim in a video where there's no music at all. If there can be a music claim for music that never existed in my video to begin with, then I'm sure it can apply. Who knows? Realities can get all messed up at times. We've got Skeptical, though, with a comment here saying, hi, Raf, I'm still here lurking. Keep the Dylan Rounds updates coming, new or review. Sure thing, will do. So, kind of like now. Tom Evans saying, I'm stuck on finding out as such info as possible on the backpack or sports bag of Dylan Rounds. And June responds saying, did anyone ever say if Chase had a backpack when Dylan picked him up when he was hitchhiking? Also, someone had an interview with Chase's father. Has he ever mentioned anything about what Chase had when he went and got him? Well, I don't know if Weezer is present. Might have to look back at one of my previous videos for this. So Tom Evans, if you're watching right now in the background, or if you're watching on catch up, feel free to do this. You look back at one of my previous videos to do with Chase Venstra, the 25th of May. It'll be in the title and the thumbnail. I think it might have been called Complete Timeline Explained, to do with Chase Venstra, when Dylan Rounds came across him first time round. And it was adding in the details from what Weezer said. In addition, besides the peeping Tom behaviour, firearm, camouflage, clothing, things being stolen from somebody else. I don't know the things stolen. Well, the things that were stolen were never retrieved. And that the guy out there that had his stuff robbed never got the true justice, nor find the location to where those stuff could have been taken. But I don't know if there's anything in there where it ties in with Chase stealing stuff at that time on the 25th and just so happens to put the items in a bag, a duffel bag. Could that tie in with what Robert Berger was saying about 2 orange duffel bags? I don't know. There's a lot of bag talk. So I'm just wondering if the bag talk, the backpack, the gym bag, if any of that links back to the 25th when Chase Venstre stole items from elsewhere and stored them in a bag whilst he was escaping. You know? Anyone? Anyone? Leave your thoughts. You can always return back to stuff at a different point. We got Watching the Drama here, saying, unfortunately, Content ID has become a headache for some YouTube creators like you. There are a lot of videos about YouTube's Content ID system being broken and abused. Merlin is a digital music licensing organization for independent labels like Epitaph. Some independent musicians will use royalty-free music in their songs and later claim it as their own. So even if you use royalty-free music, it can still be wrongly claimed later. The music I use copyright-free, been in direct contact with, yep. Like I said, sadly, YouTube's Content ID system is broken. The fact that it's all automated doesn't help. Looking at the description for your Dylan Rounds, I noticed you linked back to the original musician's channel profile, yep, but not back to his specific music video. I understand it's copyright-free, but would linking back to the specific music help YouTube see where the music directly comes from? Other YouTube creators usually link back to the specific music song for credit. Well, as I explained earlier on in this video, no one's forced to provide a link to the person's channel or video. It's down to personal choice, and personal choice, that's what I did, credited the individual. Sometimes I didn't provide the link, as like you said, to the individual specific piece of music used. But then other times I provided multiple links to multiple videos of their channel to the individual pieces of music used. When I was covering the Kenny Veach videos in the past, at one point I used 3 to 4 different music pieces from KOAG. I provided multiple links to them. Was it okay? No, it wasn't. A couple of them were okay, but at least one of the 3 or one of the 4 music pieces used, one of them was copyright claimed. So whether I provide links or not, it makes no difference. Okay? At the end of the day, if there's any video with any form of music or sound in the background, it can be done for copyright, even though it's not. So really, fucked. Okay? Response-wise, what did I say? I provided links in the past to their channel-specific videos, received claim, true. As for providing links in general, it won't help YouTube identify what's what, as they don't get involved. They don't act as the middleman during these disputes. They've told me that it all comes down to the third-party group, a waiting game. And sometimes it can take up to a year, maybe longer. That's the reality. Because not all third-party groups respond back immediately. Okay, so some stuff is on hold for a very long time. So if you think when it comes to the big YouTube channels out there that might get millions upon millions of views on a video, which just so happens to receive a copyright claim, so it's limited, there is a lot of wasted potential, opportunities missed out on. You can understand why it can really deeply impact people out there. As for my videos, the videos that have been claimed, more so in recent time, well, they're not really gaining any more traction, those videos, so it doesn't really matter, right? But still, it's annoying. It shouldn't happen. The fact that it's all past videos, it feels kind of sneaky, trying to do it in the background as if I wouldn't notice, in a way. And on top of that, in such high numbers, back to back, if it was 1 or 2 videos, you could think maybe something's going on, a bit of a glitch, but it's about 7 to 8 claims. That's never happened ever before and still ongoing now. How many more? If you think about it, I've uploaded 370 plus videos on the Dylan Rounds case. Are you telling me that all 370 videos are going to be receiving copyright claims? That's a lot of disputing, isn't it? But if there are pathetic people out there desperate enough, they will do that. And just possibly all 370 videos on my channel could all be copyright claimed. That's my reality. There's not a single other person out there that can say that they're in the situation I'm in to this extent and this specificness, okay? That's the key point I want to stress, right? So, YouTube, when it comes to copyright claims, the system is shit in terms of how they deal with it. Appalling. You know, they don't get their hands dirty, you know, they keep out of it. So that's typical. Skeptical, referring back to the Dylan Rounds case, saying, I suppose Dylan could have had some kind of backpack or bag to carry his belongings to all his custom farm work. Makes sense. So where's it at? I can understand that, carrying a bag full of tools, equipment, but then again, the truck would do that, right? But depending where you park the truck, you might have to put some tools in the bag to then, you know, go on foot to somewhere. So, yeah, skeptical, reasonable point there, fair point. Custom farm work, makes sense. So where is it? I've never heard Candice Cooley or Justin Rounds mention a backpack or bag that was missing. True, neither have I. If it does or did exist, why wouldn't they mention it? A key piece of evidence only the person responsible would know about. Yeah, because the only thing that has been talked about and remained open to questioning and suspicion and mystery that Dylan Rounds' wallet was never retrieved, and that was it. Dylan's phone was retrieved, found. A baseball cap, John Deere branded one, was found by some people, which then Ty Corbin mentioned and highlighted online and documented. Never really heard back from that. So that's unfortunate. Anything else? Gun key fob. That's about it. And the phone footage as well from Dylan's phone, which was retrieved. Candice Cooley did say the truck and trailer were locked when they got there on the 30th. Yep. She has also said Dylan never locked his truck. So yes, Warlight Raft, the person or persons that went to his farm on the 28th must have had Dylan's keys. We know the persons had Dylan's phone. Yeah. Do you remember in the photos taken by the family friend of the inside of Dylan's trailer? A couple of people commented back then that it looked like the screen on the window was bent or something, maybe someone small, like the brother or Candice Cooley went through the window. She never mentioned it. I believe this community may be onto something. So yeah, there was a few comments there by a few people in the past. Indiana has said it recently. Tom Evans has referred to it as well. So to tie that all in line, perfect timing to acknowledge. Skeptical, I will be making a video of that. I will be revisiting it, okay? Whether I get a copyright claim or not, I'm going to make a video of it maybe tomorrow or the day after. So be on the lookout for that, okay? Skeptical saying, sorry, I'm late to the Chop Shop conversation. I didn't watch the video. I only listened late at night, so I missed the map location of the Chop Shop. Would it have been on the route James Brenner took after his spring cleaning? Right, okay, I see what you're saying. That's an interesting point. So you're suggesting the possibilities that at some point after the spring cleaning, that when Brenner left and was driving away with the bags in the back of his vehicle or someone's vehicle, he could have taken a left turn as if you were going down to Dylan's farm, then took a right going southeast down to the Chop Shop to dispose of the stuff that way. I get that. That's an alternative way of thinking. It could also reinforce to why the area should be searched down that way, even though it's not been. Yeah, I mean, maybe I can go onto the maps shortly, skeptical, and point out to you where that Chop Shop roughly was or roughly is, okay? Take in mind it will be 2019 imagery, and it did relocate, only a bit more east, so still within the area. I'll point it out to you later when we go and look at Peru as well regarding Christie's comment. So yeah. Skeptical. This video not limited. True. I must admit, I do enjoy the skip ads button though. I understand. Yeah. You know, adverts is what it is. If they're skippable, that's not too bad. If you got to wait 5 seconds, that's not too bad. It's when you got the 15 to 30 second long adverts which are not skippable and there's 2 lots of them. That's hell. but you're not in control of length of adverts or whether they're skippable or not. You're not in control of that, okay? Whether added or removed is one of those things. But we've got skeptical here. I like birds, especially the strange ones. Fly on or fly off, whichever applies. I think there's a few birds outside right now I can see in the garden, so must be a sign. Shout out to Skeptical for her super chat or super thanks, whichever one it's called. There seems to be different types. You got a super chat, and then you got a super sticker, and then a super thanks. I think maybe a super chat is just a general term for it. Maybe. A super thanks and a super sticker. A super sticker tends to be more for live streams and live premieres during a live chat, like right now. So if a super sticker shows up on screen in the chat, it'll be all colourful, a banner going across in the chat section with an animated emoji, which does look very good visually speaking. And you can choose different ones. I think you've got the choice to select which one. So that's all good. It looks really good visually as well, the way it just pops up on screen, the bursting colours and the colour tone itself. And then a super thanks is where it's no emoji, but you can add your own text, where it would be words of encouragement, support, acknowledgement, or even just a question. So it shows up on screen, stands out, and then the person can respond back to it in some way or another, in the video itself or in the comments, the live chat. And then I think a super chat, maybe just a general term for it. I'd say that here would be classified as a super chat, I guess, because there's no like direct animated emoji, nor is there like a text format what you'd see in the chat. So it's just like a super chat end of the day. But it's good. There's like all different ways, right? In live streams, in live premieres, or even in a standard video. Even if you've missed the live video, there's always ways of supporting channels just in general. With any channel out there on YouTube, there's always different ways about it. So that's a positive. So it's not like one is missing out or people aren't missing out. So that's all fine there. Shout out to Skeptical. Once again saying, I'm jealous. You spent exactly 16 minutes on one individual's comment. You bad man. Can't think of any other negative things to say. Okay. Well, maybe I've made up for it, Skeptical. I think I've spent maybe close to 16 minutes or under on some of your comments, analysing them. Hopefully you approve of that. So, yeah. Well, as we've got Glenn, Indiana. It's nice for Candice Cully to update us on the canine dogs. Such a shame we are hearing little of Lance's cadaver dog. I think someone left a comment on Lance's channel recently saying what's going on with the cadaver dog, and I think Lance said still in training. I mean, how long does it take? 6 months? This is the thing. You could get a cadaver dog, it could be dragged out, then you get through the process of the training, and then once it's ready to be deployed and used, just imagine if the person's been found. Well, at least for Lance Kelly's view perspective, it's for any case out there, whether it be maybe Susan Powell or with a guy called Tommy Novak, somebody else, Dylan Round. So whoever's missing at that time or case is still ongoing, then the dogs can be used for that. Will it be of great use, success? I don't know, because we've not seen it yet. It's just a matter of time, right? The only thing you could have argued and put forwards, even if you don't agree with Lance Kelly, let's just say if we could rewind back to the beginning and how at moments dogs weren't fully utilised, things were delayed, pushed back, other stuff was completely cancelled, right? And just imagine if Lance Kelly showed up with his own cadaver dog and it was all ready at the time. You might not like what he does, but because he's out there more often than others, the chances of maybe finding something could be slightly higher. It just depends how they handle it forwards if they did find something. But it would have been interesting, right? Because, whilst Lance Kelly could be in areas which people deem as not ideal, practical, and that can apply to other people as well, maybe Ty Corbin as well. But because they're out there so often, right, does that increase the chances of success if you pair it with a cadaver dog? Let me know your thoughts. What was the response then? I wish they would find Dylan. Yeah. This is what I'm saying. If Lance Kelly, right, of all people, because Lance Kelly has been criticised from all different sides within the community, if Lance found Dylan Rounds and it was all done appropriately and, called in, reported, etc., and was a success, what would happen to Lance Kelly? Would everybody apologise to him? Would everybody thank him? Or would people just blank him? Does anyone know? Would Candice Cooley reach out and thank him or not? See, this is the thing. When it's come to lesser important things within the community, the drama, the conflict, all these different channels and communities, how things are broken down, people have been attacking one another, and then down the line, oh, it's all kiss and make up. Oh, I'm sorry. But then there's someone like me who's been consistently a lone wolf since day one of this case, and I've been on the receiving end of whingers and whiners who've apologised to other people they've attacked, but they've not apologised to me. I wonder it's probably because they've got their heads so far rammed up their rear end that they still can't see the light. And they don't like admitting that they're wrong. They don't like admitting that they're a prat. Okay, and there's another thing that rhymes with prat, begins with a T. But yeah, just one of those things. Skeptical, interesting epitaph. The LA-based record label, one of their artists, Weezer, was my kid's favourite in the early 2000s. Is Weezer the band or something? Not Weezer, i.e. Weezer, the Montello local, not her. So you're saying Epitaph LA. Is there any dodgy characters, any dodgy people in the Dylan Rounds community and further afar in the true crime community from LA who could have reached out to a record label in LA to try and screw me over? I wonder. Just out of interest, that's all. Move on. We got June saying, I've never trusted Kurt Wadsworth. Does anyone remember someone saying that Kurt's trailer smells like bleach? Candice, when she was on the East Idaho News, she had said she smelled bleach in the trailer too, which I thought was strange because wouldn't that send up a red flag to her? Oh, wrong button. Response. I've heard of it. Indiana. That's a hard one. Kurt gives me the impression he's a little OCD, and it was Memorial Weekend where he was having family down. Could that be the reason he cleaned the trailer up? Possibly. I could understand that. And we're talking about Kurt's trailer being bleached, not Dylan Brown's, okay? But some people were suggesting that maybe because of Kurt's trailer being bleached and cleaned, that was Dylan Round's trailer cleaned as well. The thing is, with Dylan Round's trailer, it did look dirty and dusty on the sides, but then people were saying that on the floor, though, it did look a bit cleaner. Well, in some areas it did, but in other areas it didn't. So, differs from opinions, right? Is it odd to use bleach and to clean it down, do a deep clean? No, I think people do it in general. If you did it very often, then maybe something else going on, such as OCD. But then, just like random characteristic trait, if someone's good at cleaning something, deep cleaning, whatever, right? And then you got the likes of the gun and key fob, which has been returned back supposedly, and that's been cleaned off all prints and DNA, and maybe Dylan's truck as well on the inside. Well, that's a little bit odd, right? Because whether those items were taken in the first place or not, they should and they would have had some form of DNA upon those items, such as belonging to Dylan Rounds. But because it was supposedly completely cleaned off all prints and DNA, then surely somebody else must have cleaned those items down with whatever chemicals or washing up stuff. Does that link back to Kurt? Maybe, maybe not. Well, I was just highlighting it as a theme. The theme of cleaning, spring cleaning, etc. Christy, I think Air Raider imagery is fast steady. I don't know. Christy, poor Dylan has been used as a pawn in a materialistic family game. He had no chance to survive around all those human vultures. And last but not least, we got this person here, Hutchins, saying the grandparents put up the money without a doubt. Candice Cooley has a long history of owing money to people that worked for her. Okay, so you're saying that the grandparents put the reward money up. The way it was said by also Candice Cooley, that it was Justin Rounds that had the final say and was in control of the money being put out there and it being raised. That at one point Candice Cooley said she wanted it raised from, I think it might have been 25,000 to 50,000, and then Justin thought, no, we're going to say it to 100k. So that's how it was worded back then. unless there's other stuff going on in the background. Just a thought there. So it looks like we've reached the end of these comments. So there's been quite a few to get through. And once again, the perfect thing is just how some of these comments link on to future videos I'm going to make. So there's a great flow there and consistency. It makes it easier to follow and understand. So with that out the way, I think what I'll do now is share with you that copyright claim I got, the specific one, and explain. Well, here we are. This is what it appears as on screen, and I received this earlier on in the morning when I woke up to see it as an email. It says, "Hi Warlight Raf, a copyright owner using Content ID has claimed some material in your video. Your video is live and the visibility settings that you selected remain applied to it. However, it is now either being monetized by copyright owner or they have chosen to receive the analytics about it, such as the views, the likes, the subscriber gains, the attention, watch rate, and stuff. This is not a copyright strike. The claim does not affect your account status, but still, it's not good to have on you. Yeah, you don't want it looming over you, right? The video title, the video that received this false copyright claim was titled Dylan Rounds Calling Brenner for a Ride Back Theory, phone pings included. Copyrighted content, pizza and drugs, claimed by Merlin Epitaph, supposedly based in LA. So there you go, once again, another Dylan Rounds video of mine from the past has all of a sudden received a copyright claim. And a false one, because the music, pizza and drugs, that content, copyrighted, has never appeared in any of my videos or future ones, right? It can be proven. You literally played a video of mine and listened to the music that is being, displayed, and it doesn't match up. It's completely different to what's being claimed here, right? The music I use is copyright free. The music claimed here may be copyrighted, but it doesn't exist in my video. And if it doesn't exist, then it means that it's a complete, what do you call it? Do you call it a sham? Maybe. Basically, it's a complete false report. False report. 7 to 8 false reports now. If there's all this false reporting going on, is someone in the background trying to take me down? Probably, right? Because it's never happened before to this extent. There's definitely some obsessed people out there, right? And yet they're still failing. Pathetic. You know what the most interesting thing is then? Where you see at the bottom where it says claimed by Merlin Epitaph. Well, in the past, well, no, not in the past, recently, when I looked back at some of the, disputed videos for the copyright, the false claims, I looked back at who it was claimed by, and the name changed to somebody's name. I think it was called Darren Bradley or something. Darren Bradley. How does it go from Merlin Epitaph, pizza and drugs, to claimed by Bradley? Who's Bradley? You get what I'm saying? So it tells me there's something a bit fishy going on in the background, that this copyrighted content remains consistent through all these claims, but who it's claimed by, the name changes every now and then. Is the name changing every now and then to pass the books around, pass the parcel, pass responsibility on to different people so they never get detected or called out? I wonder. Just like how channels on YouTube would change their usernames and profile pictures after being reported to Bannervade to avoid having their channel taken down to cause confusion. I saw that extensively in the Kenny Veach case community days because there were some very pathetic humans out there that thought by changing their username would avoid them having their channel taken down, and up to an extent, up to a point, that did work for them. You see how desperate humans are? Well, once again, I'm seeing it happen, right? On my Dylan Rounds videos. It could have been any other videos out there, but now it's on Dylan Rounds specifically. Is that simply because I've really only covered Dylan Rounds videos ever since? Well, yeah, but there's been background videos here and there and older videos which have music too, and they've not been picked out on. So why the Dylan Rounds stuff? Well, clearly because people don't like me covering this case. Is it because I'm getting too close to the truth? Who knows? But as I said, for as long as this BS goes on for, I'm going to document it on my channel. And I'm also going to dispute it. Over and over again. End of the day, definition of insanity. Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting something to change. It's not going to change. No. So people out there are wasting their breath and time. But, you know, if they want to do this, then I just keep documenting it and I keep creating videos and then I keep creating more videos on the Dylan Brown's case. So for all those idiots, for all those prats that don't like me covering this case and show resistance in some way or another, well, the more you report or do this dodgy backhand stuff, the more likely I am to cover this case, because I'm just going to keep making videos on this, documenting it whilst also talking about other stuff of the case. So really, your plan has gone backwards. Well done. Okay. So I just wanted to share this with you because it's recent and this is what it looks like and this is the content claimed, and I can document it as well if I need to refer back to it in the past or use screenshots. Is anybody watching right now, you want to take notes or make a mental note of things, feel free to do so. Okay. As I said, YouTube are limited to what they can and can't do because they're not getting little hands dirty, typical people. But yeah. That aside, what I'm going to transition on to now is onto the maps. I can briefly refer back to the Chop Shop to answer Skeptical's question about it, location. And then I can tie it in with Peru, with Christie and the whole aliens and those remains being found. Right, so Skeptical, hopefully you're here. Right, so I've got Grain Shed down here, of course. Dylan's Farm. Past Sun Tunnels on the right, going east. Dylan's Farm, land here. As for the Chop Shop, well, we move back a little bit to this midsection, which branches off, going south east. And basically, you follow that all the way down. Becomes more prominent here because the road goes a bit darker in colour. And I'll do like a line, and then it comes almost like an end, but then there's like a faint dirt path which works its way down to this point here. This was the original spot before it relocated. Coordinates are on screen if you wish to pause the video and type it in yourself if possible. I'll try and move it so it's in sight and view a little bit clearer because sometimes it's hard for the stuff to show up on screen. Hold on. Is that a bit clearer to see? Feel free to pause the video and yeah. I said it relocated a bit more east, somewhere in that area, somewhere within that area, right? You will find it on Bing Maps, in case you're wondering, okay? You've got to zoom on in. Where it looks like there's a lot of trees dotted about in a small proximity, then it's likely the Chop Shop scrap yard. And in terms of Dylan's Farm there to the original location and spotted the Chop Shop, which is here. Just double check. Yeah. About 8 miles. Zoom on out. So from point A up there is Dylan's Farm to down here, which is the Chop Shop. That's what it looks like. And there is a road that comes off from the road to Dylan's Farm, which goes down to the Chop Shop. And if you don't take that route, you keep on driving down to Dylan's Farm. And once you get to like the end of it, you can turn right as if you're going down to South Little Pigeon Mountains and then take a left and then you back onto that dirt road going down to the Chop Shop. So hopefully that answers that skeptical. If you need further analysis, you can check my previous videos out because I did do analysis in the past. Now, put that aside and put Saddle Saw Bar aside. We're going to Peru. Why? Why not? Peru, Now, you know, if this was some Gallagher man type person, I know what would happen. They were saying, why are we going to Peru? Why are we going to NASCAR? We got NASCAR in the USA, man. We don't need to go down to Peru. NASCAR is the best thing in the world, man. Yo, golly. It's not spelled as NASCAR, it's spelled differently, okay? The NASCAR plate, the NASCAR line or something. Maybe I need to type it in slightly different in a second, but the reason why we're looking within this area of Peru is because the video what I did last night, be sure to check the video out last night. I'll try and provide a link down below in the pinned comment section with additional links if you want to support the channel. We're looking at alien remains that were found in Peru back in 2017, which date back 1,000 years, supposedly. Some claims have received backlash that it's fake, that it's not what it appears as, but then other people who are really enthusiastic and involved in this whole thing are saying that it is real, it's genuine, how far it dates back, the carbon printing of it. That was found in the Nazca line or near to that area. It could be something ancient. Other people suggesting that maybe it's like an ornament, decorative thing. Some say it's mummified remains. Others saying that it's been like contaminated with different mummified remains pieced together, which is a little bit odd. All kinds of combinations, different theories going on, okay? So I'm just going to double check. Do I need to type in Nazca line? I'm going to type in Peru first. Peru, archaeological site. So I think that's what we need to look at, the archaeological site in Peru. Likely where the items were found, those two little aliens. How were they uncovered, unearthed? Were they buried in the ground? Were they near a sacred site? Was there a grave for them? I wonder. In terms of how they appeared in the casings, those two little aliens, they looked very dusty, sandy. That cement, concrete or something was plastered on them, and it looked hard underneath and grainy, which matches the texture and colouring as what we see on the maps here. We do have some images which we can take a look at. Why not? 1 of 20. So an archaeological site, I guess a tourist attraction possibly, maybe guided. But, you know, last night, about 93% of people watching the videos said they wanted to see this, so that's why we're looking at it now. As for anyone watching or people joining on into this live premiere and you want to hear about Dylan Rounds and the talk about that, be sure to rewind back to the start of this video, okay? So what do we have here? Well, we got some like man-made stairs going up that way to like a vantage point. I don't know what's going on with this like mound or little hill. There seems like all kinds of lines and patterns going on within it. Was that created by someone or a big snake? I don't know. Is it natural or not? Or caused by wildlife? Let me know your thoughts down below, okay? I'm not an expert on Peru, okay? I'm not an expert on the area. So I'm just sharing with you what's on screen. So like, could the aliens have been found here exactly? Or further far? Oh, okay. Is this why it's called the Nazca lines? Because it's actually got lines. But what have caused the lines? Is it tectonic plates? Is it movement of the earth? The core shifting? Is it something ancient? Anything to do? Do you get any earthquakes within the area of here, Peru? I wonder. Down there, is that a road? Could be. Looks like tarmac. There's a blue sign as well with a post. It's like a fence. It's fenced off. Not exactly done that well, but just to prevent people from driving onto this land, which is what considered somewhat sacred. It's an archaeological site. Maybe it's been caused by the archaeologist with time. But up close, these patterns, that looks really weird. What caused it? I'm not sure. As for in the distance, they look more like trenches and maybe things that have been dug up by archaeologists, possibly. Maybe somewhere over there. I mean, it's very flat, the ground, isn't it? But it's also very vast and open, even more vast and open than the likes of Lucin, Utah in the US. You see a bottom left corner of the screen, there seems to be some kind of like watchtower. I don't know if tourists can go up there themselves. Maybe it's a viewing platform. Maybe a drone was used to take this photo. But yeah, very vast. You can see the mountains in the distance, quite a lot of them. And those lines in the ground and trenches almost do seem to run quite far. Interesting. Will it show any artifacts found? I'm not too sure about that. Wow, here you can definitely see a big split and divide. On the right hand side, more farming based fields. Then on the left, just really dry desert-like terrain. Quite familiar with that, with the places we've already looked at previous in Nevada. Yeah. Okay. Oh, okay, so this one's interesting. When is this taken? Oh, 2023. Oh, so it's still ongoing right now. Some people up there. Oh, no. Oh, no, we've got a backhoe. We found the backhoe. It's ended up in bloody Peru. What's Kurt Wadsworth doing with his backhoe in Peru? He's probably trying to find a few, long time no see. Me, love you a long time. Something like that. I don't know. Okay, so that's been solved. Not. Digger over there. So this must be one of the archaeological sites, digging away at the stuff. It doesn't look, I don't know, is it controlled well? Not too sure. Is this even an archaeological site exactly here? Is this more for like a quarry of a sort? But there is lines in the ground here. I don't know if that's by chalk or not, like a grid reference, and there is like mesh or fencing dumped on the side on the right, which could have been used to corner off sections. So, when people were digging into it to try and find either remains, bones, pots, fragments, foundations of old buildings, who knows. As I said, I'm not an expert on this location. If there are any experts, you can feel free to fill in the gaps down below. We're just simply looking at the maps casually because, as I said, people wanted to see it. So does this look like a type of area where aliens would visit at any point? Let me know your thoughts. We've got another tower here, but this looks a bit more official because it is locked off. As for that person, is that an archaeologist? I don't know. He looks on the older side. Okay. Minister de Cultura. Okay. Oh no, have we got some kind of Spanish? Looks like it's Spanish class. So, Ministeric de Cultura, Linisi Geographos de Nazca. So what? The geology of the Nazca, spelt differently, lines. Patrimonio Cultural de la Nación Lein Patrimonio Cultural de la Comunidad UNESCO 17th or something. Dates back to, I guess, when it first went underway, 1994, 17th of December, I think. Near Christmas time. As for the ground, there's a lot of loose stones there, which could be considered interesting to some people if you're collecting stones and rocks. I think maybe there was a few people in the chat. Was it Wes? I can't remember. Let me just put the tripod down for a second. Quite a lot of those loose stones over there, so you better not go over an ankle. As for the colour of the ground there, I don't know what's going on there. It's very light coloured, and up close to this side, it's kind of brownish. I don't know what's caused that. Appears to be some concrete there with wires sticking out. Bit of a health hazard. A little bit of graffiti on it. Are they bullet holes or not? I'm not too sure. So there you go. Oh, we've got a plane as well. I guess that's used to fly on over. I don't know what that brown stuff is. Black stuff, I mean. Maybe oil spillage. Oh, wow. So this is next to what appears to be a main road or a highway of some sort. You can see trucks on the road. But as for the land itself, that spiral effect, what is going on there? I mean, if you were just seeing it for the very first time, you probably think, oh, no wonder why aliens were supposedly found over their remains, because it's like all kinds of wild, mysterious stuff is going on. I'm sure there'll be a visible, clear explanation behind these lines, but aside from that, the fact that interesting items were found in the area, possibly, roughly speaking. Could you link one thing to another? So yeah, those two aliens, what we saw last night, I can't remember the names of them. One's supposedly a female, the other one's supposedly a male in those cases, that they came from here, roughly speaking. And that the other one that still is over there in Peru, called Victoria, was another one that's been analysed and tested to prove their point about it being real. Okay. So, interesting. Wait, hold on. Is that real? It literally looks like of a cat. The kitty cat crew. The kitty cat crew is in Peru. There we go. Rhyming. Yeah. Interesting. Very long-bodied cat. Must have been stretched out a little bit. Right, okay, so it makes sense now. So this photo, what we're looking at, is, give me a second, it's this one. That's what the cat is. It was hard to see. Right, it was hard to see. And there's a staircase on the right. So that makes it better for perspective. Okay. So it goes up and down over that way, and there's some signs to follow and then people going on hikes. But whilst walking about, can you actually find anything? Well, I assume that if you do find anything, you can't take it away because that would probably be illegal, breaking laws. Has anyone tried? Who knows? Well, there we go. We got another pattern here, which I guess more ancient, you'd assume. And that appears to have a giant spider or a giant ant. One or the other. Ew. I don't want one that big appearing though. My question is, if this was created by people in the past and it's ancient and old, do you not get any desert storms out there? What about if it ever rains? Does it ever disturb these patterns in the ground? I'm just thinking when we looked at Loose in Utah and there was footprints, track marks, and then as soon as it rained, it kind of washed it away with time. Or when it went really cold, it destroyed the prints. So how are these preserved exactly? Does anyone know? Another watchtower from a different angle, actually. Wow, that really is vast and open. You can imagine like an army approaching in the distance from over there. It looks like a movie scene. If you take away that watchtower and some of the other items, you know, it's kind of hard to believe, like the distance of it. What are those posts for? Is it to prevent people from driving in? Or driving across, maybe? Some aren't fully there. You got some toilets down there, so I guess that's handy. And more patterns and lines in the ground. That appears to be the city nearby. A couple of houses. There's a bus, tourist one maybe. Planes, a little airport of some sort. Is that the same sign what we saw last time? Yeah, same sign, just acknowledging it on the sides. Looks like the ground. There's much ground disturbance from. Overlooking it, so maybe you are allowed up there. Some little river, stones. Whoa, that's a bit spooky. Wasn't expecting that. Hold on. What the hell's going on here? Is this real? Oh wait, they're the mummy bundles. Yeah, I remember this now. I remember way back in the past when I was much younger and I had one of those like history books and it mentioned about mummified bodies that were bunched up in a squatting position, sometimes with a stone lodged in the mouth, the jaw section, wrapped up in cloth, linen, whilst bunched up, tied up, knotted. So then they were then labelled as a mummy bundle, as what you see on screen, hence why they look like they're squashed up and wrapped in cloth. Yeah. Oh my God, Betty Haywood! Betty Haywood! It's wearing your wig! Oh no, you're going to be able to get that one back? I don't know. I mean, the hair suits it, in a way. It's even got your headband on as well. Oh no, Betty. And then that one, a little bit worse for wear, as for the hair. But for the skull to be left exposed, yeah, I get that. Like I said, that with time, the mummified bodies, that the hair would be preserved despite, you know, other areas decaying and stuff. That even the teeth of the skeletons would be somewhat well. The teeth and the hair well preserved. I remember hearing about that. And to be honest, you've got people these days going to dentists that may have some dodgy teeth. To be honest, these skeletons here probably have more teeth combined than, you know, total population of Montello. Only kidding. No. It's light-hearted. But where there seems to be, it's like in a hut or something. There's definitely like foundations, like the rocks. I assume it's like a dry wall. But then again, on the side, does that look like cement? Maybe where it's been assembled together. But to be fair, because of how they are and how they've been preserved, likely it was a burial zone here. Peruvian mummified remains. But what's that leaflet there, I wonder? Can't quite read it. Yeah. Well, there we go. At least we found something. Just stone, isn't it? Rock. Okay, so I don't know what that's all about. I think that's it there. Let's just see if there's any other images in the area. Right, so the other method, what I'm going to do, aside from the photos, if tap that orb, it may take me to lower ground, or maybe not. Some of them work, others don't. That one says load in Street View, but will it work? Because I did test it like previous, and one of them worked. Do you see, there's quite a lot of markers. Right, that one doesn't work. That one doesn't work. Does that one? Nope. This one? Come on, surely one of them works. Make sure we're facing the right way. Nazgar. I think we found one. It's a little bit faulty, right? Where's this put us? Peru. Ministry of Culture of Peru. Alto prohibido ingresar cuidados nuestro patrimonio. Please do not enter. I guess that means do not walk across down there. Is that a beacon, a point? Is it a grid? Bit of graffiti on it at the bottom. Goes into the ground. Could be a marker. I mean, there's a corrugated roof there. That to keep people dry, maybe. It's crumbled away the ground. Okay. Oh, someone's leg. Someone's foot. You see it goes up and down. You've got to follow the trail, as what those people doing over there. Quite a few people. Backpackers, explorers, whatever. See in the distance, there's some like cars parked up over there. Don't know who they are. Imagine it being organised tours, maybe, just to keep things in line so people don't wander off. And then in the distance, I don't know what that is, like maybe main road or something. There's trucks all the way up there. Seeing if I can spot anything else. See the lines in the ground in the distance, quite a few of them. Yeah, okay, well, there we go. I don't know if there's any more markers to look at. It says it's called Líneas de Nazca, ancient geoglyphs with unknown origins. So there's still mystery behind it, which is good. Surrounding area, no, doesn't seem to be anywhere else to look at. I think I looked at this one, didn't I? Just want to double check. Bloody hell, what's going on here? Whoa! What's happening here? Wait, why does that guy in the left-hand corner look like salty pancakes? What? Whoa. You get a good view here. Look at that down there. So we're actually in the sky. Jesus. And the way... God, that's quite deep. Have you seen this guy here, though? It's one of those, like, glider things with the fan on the back. And he's got a Canon camera. That's a big camera, that. And a big helmet, too. Bloody hell. Wow. It says T-Rex on it. Okay. Interesting angle. It's a little bit blurry, but, you know, might be an old photo. But you see all those lines in the ground, right? Going all the way up there. Wow. And more so here, looking down to the grid section, how it joins up to this, which looks like a big hand or something with a middle finger. With the ancient people putting a middle finger up. Maybe. Or it could be of some kind of creature of some sort, symbolism. Wow. That's the thing, when you see those like markers on there that sometimes some work and others don't. Trial and error in a way. What about down here? One of these. Let's just see what this last one is. Where's it going to take me? Oh, damn. Feels like a graveyard, this. Well. It says 2021 and 2022, I think. Well. And then the map there with the stones. With roofing on top. And symbolisms over there. But then these are a bit spooky, the way they've been much older from the looks of it. Where they're scattered about. Farmland in the distance. Well, there we go. I think that concludes that there. So hopefully you enjoyed the video. Feel free to like and share the video to also spread awareness of the Dylan Rounds case, as we talked about earlier on. If you did join late, feel free to rewind back and catch up there. If you didn't check out my previous video, more to do with the alien remains, feel free to check that out. It will be available on my channel and also a link down below. I think that's it for now. We'll see what happens next. I'm sure something will go wrong on my channel, of course. But yeah, thanks for watching. Goodbye and good night.